Hey guys, welcome back to another 10-minute jazz lesson. Today we are going to go over a much requested topic, which is the tune Blues for Alice, the great Charlie Parker tune. And we're going to talk about the first four measures and some things you can do to start sounding really good over those first four measures. There's a very specific chord progression that happens over the first four measures of this tune that is somewhat difficult to play over if you've never done it before, but I am here to give you a couple of strategies that you can use to really start to get those first four bars together and get your solo off to a really good start before you go on to the rest of the tune. So the first thing that I would advise you is to learn the melody of Blues for Alice. And that's going to be difficult in itself because it's actually a really tough melody. And, in some keys it's a little bit tougher than others. So spend some time first learning the melody, memorizing it, all those things that you have to do first on a tune. All right? So that would be the first thing. Get that stuff under your fingers, get it under your belt, get it in your ears. And then we could start talking about the chord changes. So let's jump right into this first four bars of the chords here. This is a very Charlie Parker-esque chord progression. Basically what it is it's a string of 2 5s that descend by whole steps. So it kind of goes, 2, 5, 1, but then the 1 becomes the 2 of the next 2 5, and it keeps descending like that through 3 different keys, all right? So if you look at the first measure, we have a concert F major 7 chord. And that's the other thing, too, about the way Charlie Parker does this blues. A lot of people will call it the bird blues because he took a regular blues and he really kind of reharmed it and added his own changes to it to make it something that was unique to Charlie Parker and the way that Charlie Parker would play something. So it's still 12 bars, but, he's taken the chord progression and he's done something totally different with it. So it starts with a concert F major 7 chord, as opposed to most other blueses, which start with a concert F7 chord, if you're in the key of F, right? So instead of a dominant chord, he starts with a major chord. Then right in the second bar, he starts this string of 2 5, the descending 2 5 things, right? So in bar 2, you have a concert E minor 7 flat 5 to a concert A7 flat 9. Then in the third bar, you've got concert D minor 7 to concert G7. Fourth bar, you've got concert C minor 7 to concert F7, and then all of that resolves on a concert B flat 7. So the fifth bar is just like what it would be in a regular blues. It goes to the 4 chord, right? So this is still a blues, it's just a bit of a different blues than we're used to, okay? So let's start by listening to the chord progression over the first 4 bars. Hopefully you guys can hear this. Let's listen to that one more time, and this time I'll kind of point out. So F major, 2, 5, 2, 5, 2, 5, 1. So that's the first 4 bars, and he actually uses this a lot in several other tunes as well. Most notably, Confirmation starts in this exact same way. So that's kind of cool. If you work on this tune, you're actually working on the first 4 bars of Confirmation as well. So that makes this an extra valuable exercise to work on. So what we're going to do is we're coming up with 2 5 lines that they lead into each other with perfect voice leading. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to start my 2 5 1 lick on the minor third of the 2 chord. And then I also want it to end leading me into the minor third of the next 2 chord so that I can play this string of uninterrupted notes and I don't have to jump all over the place, and it's just going to make the line sound really super smooth as we're playing through this chord progression. So the first one that I've come up with sounds like this. So this is starting in bar 2, okay? Oh, and by the way, you can get all the PDFs of these on our Patreon site. Just follow the link below the video and you can find all the PDFs to this stuff. So here's bar 2. So did you hear how I went through the 3 measures with an uninterrupted line? It's kind of nice, right? How it leads into itself. Very, very simple line. Very simple line. But it sounds really cool when you play it through those. And you want to start simple, right? You don't want to start with anything crazily complicated. All right, so now if I add in the first bar. I have this really nice phrase that I can play over the first 4 bars. Now, one note before we keep going. In real life, when you're really, really improvising over a tune like this, you really don't want to play the same lick 3 times in a row, right? But this is a practice tool. This is getting you used to the chord progressions, used to the notes that you have to play over it. Then when you're actually on stage soloing, you can reach for some things that are not the same thing 3 times over and over again, right? Anyways, that's just something that I wanted to cover so that you say, well, yeah, Nick, but I'm never going to play the same lick 3 times. That's boring. People are going to like see right through that. Well, yes, you're absolutely right. But this is just a stepping stone to what you're actually going to do when you're performing. Okay, so now let's listen to it with the play along going. So you can hear it fits really, really nicely, and you know, Blues for Alice is usually played pretty quickly, so you'd have to work on it till you could get it to, you know, a fast tempo. All right, let's take a look at another lick. So on this one, same thing. I'm going to start each 2 chord with the 3rd, and my lick is going to lead me into it. This one's a little bit less linear, and it's a little bit more rhythmically interesting. So let's check this one out. Here's starting in the 2nd bar. So there's a little bit more going on in that one, right? I've got a triplet, I'm arpeggiating the chords instead of just playing up and down the scales. So a little bit more of a complicated one on the 2nd lick. One more time. All right, let's try that with the play along. I actually don't even know if I could pull this off at the tempo the play along's at, but let's try it. Why not? All right, I did better than I thought. Hey, that's good. So there's 2 licks for you. Now, my suggestion, as always, is you take the stuff that I give you, and then you come up with 5 or 6 of your own licks, because that's really, really the only way that you're going to learn fully what you should be learning when you're doing this stuff. So, you know, don't just learn the 2 licks and then let it go, because the concept will not be in your playing after just learning 2 licks that I wrote. You need to get into the nitty-gritty, really figure out your own stuff, and get your own sound going that way. All right? So I've got PDFs in concert pitch, B flat, and E flat on the Patreon site. So if you feel like you want to have this stuff in your library, make sure you go and check it out. Leave me any questions that you might have below the video. Let me know what are some future episodes that you would like to see. What are some of the things that you're working on that you could use a little bit of help with? And I will definitely make some episodes to help some people out. All right, have a great one, everybody, and we'll see you on the next episode.